Well, certainly an interesting game. We're going to celebrate the fact we got a shutout and a good win. Areas of improvement, certainly we need to run the football better, and that's going to be a point of emphasis. But I thought our defensive guys really flew around. That was a challenging schematic type of offense, and so that's going to serve us well as we work through the rest of the year. I know Coach Hazelton and I and the rest of the defensive coaches during this week, we're stressed, even though they didn't put up a lot of points the previous game. It's still a scheme that's very similar to some of the other people that we're going to play. So I think we made progress there. I thought that Josh really threw the ball well, and that was an encouraging thing. I don't know what his numbers look like, but I thought particularly early in the game he took the ball where we needed to take it and establish a lead. So that was good. I thought the snapper, for the most part, did okay. We had one errant snap. It was, we barely had made it. Thanks, Tim. But we'll continue to work on the kicking game. So at this time, any questions?
About the run game, Craig, I mean, I'm sure they maybe scheme against it, but what needs to happen? Is it better line plays, a better back play? Is it a combination? What are you seeing right now?
Well, I can tell you it's a combination of both. It's, we've got a couple guys that need to get hooked up front on some of the defensive guys to get some movement. And I think there's times that our backs had a misread or didn't take the right cut. And, there's no doubt we're not going to have rose-colored glasses on and say, hey, we're going to just celebrate this win and everything's great as we get ready for Oregon. We got a lot of work to do. And for us to be successful, it's going to be important that we improve in that. Now, we will not discount Josh Allen's arm. We're going to utilize his arm and do things that, typically we have not done before. But there needs to be more of a balance, and that's going to be a real point of emphasis this week.
Coach, could you walk us through the decision to put Trey Woods in there for a couple plays?
Yeah, Trey was a guy we had recruited, played a lot of different positions in high school. We're looking for a bigger back, and so he started out the majority of camp as a linebacker. And we kept on fashioning how our offense was looking and what Trey was going to do on special teams, and felt like his best chance to really help us on this football team was to play him at running back. And so we'll analyze the tape. We put him in when the game was still in doubt. Thought he played pretty well. And we'll take a hard look. I mean, he's a guy that's 6'3" plus, about 209 pounds now. And so you're looking at a guy that's probably going to get 6'3", 230 before he's done growing. So that's a kind of projection that we made. And Coach Vigen made it was his call. He and I talked. And we said we're going to insert him and see how he does.
2 weeks in, do you and Coach Vigen still have a lot of confidence in this committee running back scheme?
Well, we're going to have to take a hard look at where we're at because today's performance is unacceptable in the running game. And so I think everything's on the table. There's been 2 games now that we've kind of taken a look, and you say before, well, we can do better in the running game. Against Iowa, there's a couple times we got a fair chunk. But today, I don't know what the final total was, but that was abysmal as far as how we typically run the football. So, one thing I learned is take 24 hours. We're going to enjoy this win. We're going to take a critical look on what we're doing in the running game to get better, though.
Coach, regardless of the opponent, what's it do for defense just to see a 0 on the scoreboard?
Yeah. Well, Tim Harkins reminded me, I think it's since 2010 since we've had a shutout. Those are hard to do. I was a defensive coordinator for a lot of years, and to pitch a perfect game like that, I don't care where you're at, who you're against, it's hard to do. And so kudos to our defense. I thought, they had made strides in our first game, and I thought they made more strides today.
Coach, got off to a good start, especially with Austin. They were really connecting early, and then it seemed like the other receivers kind of fell and got more involved as the game went on. How big was it for the start for Josh and even Austin and that connection between those two?
Well, we're always looking for a give and take. And of course, last year Josh took the ball to a lot of different receivers, and I think we're still trying to find our way in the passing game. And obviously, we're trying to find our way with our offense as far as what kind of identity we do have. But the one thing that became really apparent early in the game was when number 25 has the football in his hands, he can make some things happen.
Can you tell as the game goes on when you see the 0 up there? Does the defense know? I mean, can you tell that whenever they get the shutout going and they get fired up there?
Yeah, you know what, a lot of times you're just focused on number of possessions to secure the win, but there's no doubt, any competitive coach, you start looking at that goose egg up there and those players take a great deal of pride in it. You know, it's kind of uncharted waters for us, quite frankly, but that's the direction we want to head. When we really arrive, I think you'll see us being a really, really great dominant defense, and we're a ways away from that, but this is the direction we want to go.
Coach, C.J. Johnson got his first touchdown catch tonight. He had a particularly bad drop last week. What does that do for a receiver's confidence after a bad touchdown drop like that to get one on the board and get the monkey
Well,
off the back?
You know, he had a drop early in this game too. Went over and encouraged him because he's got exceptional ability, and so you know, to gain some confidence, to get back in the fight. CJ's a competitive guy. It's not like he was trying to drop the ball here or there, and so you know, it's good to see CJ back in there. And another guy, Tim Zielinski, answered the bell today. And you know, you can say whatever you want to when you're a freshman and you show up and you don't shave and you're trying to find the library and you know, you punt, and the first punt was good and everybody cheered. That was great.
Coach, what did you think of your defensive line play? Very active even against the run, I thought, and obviously got after the quarterback a little bit.
Their offense is really not built for passing, and we knew that coming in. But I thought the defensive line really did a great job establishing the line of scrimmage, causing some penetration. They tackled well. Certainly they put pressure on the quarterback. I know we got a couple sacks today. And the other thing that's really becoming apparent, I don't think we came up with a takeaway today, but I know, do we have one?
Dewey.
Yeah, Dewey had one, and then we had a couple other times the ball was on the ground. So we got to continue that trend, and that's a sign of an aggressive, explosive defense.
Coach, when you build such a big first half lead, is it tough to keep the energy level up in the second half, or I guess how do you feel like the energy level was?
I thought the energy level was pretty good on defense. You know, that one drive extended, they converted on a couple third downs, but I thought our defensive guys pretty much maintained control of the game the whole way. Certainly offensively, we need to do better. And now some of that was, you could attribute, I think we had a 3 and out, and then, you know, they kind of converted and turned the field over there a little bit, but we didn't answer the bell like we needed to. You know, we needed to come out with our stingers up, and that's going to be something we'll address on Monday with them.
You were opening the game up, throwing the ball.
Right.
I thought I was watching Aaron Rodgers for a little bit. I mean, is that something you were trying to do to get him in rhythm a little bit more?
To watch Aaron Rodgers?
No, I'm teasing you. Yes, yeah, and I think
Well,
he
there's
should
some
play like
things.
that.
There are some things that we do.
Yeah,
Josh,
but you're trying to get Josh in a rhythm in this.
Josh is uniquely gifted, and for us to say that we're going to be just the same vanilla offense, you know, it's not going to be. So we're going to utilize his skills. However, there comes a time when we have to be balanced, and we're going to get Josh in a rhythm, and that stresses the defense, but we've got to be able to, I keep on coming back to it,
Yeah.
we've got to be able to be more balanced. And the other thing that occurs is when you're up that number of possessions, you got to be able to run the clock out. You got to be able to secure the win. You got to be able to get off the field, and you know, we'll keep on doing things with Aaron Rodgers.
How different is that you for a coach though?
It's way different.
Yeah, right?
It's hard for me.
Yeah.
You know, now I've also confronted really good throwing quarterbacks, and you know, we wouldn't look very bright if we just said, okay, we're gonna go out there and run the ball 50 times a game, and we're gonna throw it 12 and maybe take a couple shots. That wouldn't. Josh can take the ball places on the field that most defenses do not cover, and as a result, when we have that ability, we're going to take advantage of that. Now, you're right; it's different for me, and it's you know, it's a little bit different for Coach Vegan, but you know, we're going to take advantage and look at what a defense gives us.
Coach, is it safe to say that non-throwing shoulder injury Josh had earlier in the week, that's not a concern at this point?
I know it wasn't. We felt on Wednesday he was going to be okay. He was still sore. Thursday made some progress. I didn't think it had any impact today at all.
Back to your receivers, do you think that they got good separation? They had some trouble
Mhm.
getting off those first contacts against Iowa. Do you think they did a better job of that today?
I think some of it was how Gardner-Webb deployed their secondary. They gave us quite a bit of space out there, and so we'll see what Oregon does. I know that they're getting after the Miles School, Nebraska right now pretty good, but we'll have to take a look. I thought we made strides, and obviously, we're looking for playmakers out there, and I thought Austin Conway really made some nice plays today.
Craig, do you see enough from your young long snapper to continue to give him looks and work on him, or will him and you still compete, or what are your early thoughts on that?
Well, the one thought, I saw the ball wasn't snapped very good, and he said he had a cramp in his hip when he was snapping, so I said, go see the trainer. We'll take a look, because it wasn't as clean as what we'd like. We're gonna continue to look this week, see where we're at.
Injury-wise, Craig, anything, anything from that?
Cash Malahulu's got a little bit of a thumb issue, but he continued to finish the game, and everybody else, RP never came up to me after that and said, we're gonna hold somebody. Dewey cramped up a little bit, was out, but outside of that, we were fine.
Thanks, Coach.
Anything else,